Welcome back to Project Kawasaki, Funkerville, and everything's still up in the air and under wraps. But we're getting on with things, making progress, even if it's a backward step. Yes, I've stripped off all that horrible green paint off there with the aid of Citrus Strip. Very good. Stripping gel. Bearings are on order, so hopefully we'll be sorting out the wheel situation. Tyres are on order. Likewise, I have queried the different coloured teals and I'm waiting to hear back. So, what next?
Well, I guess we better sort this back end out, hadn't we?
Right, that's those dispensed with.
Okay, here's a little bit Heath Robinson up front here, yes, because I haven't got any bolts quite the right length. But that's about the size of it. And that's a lot better. A lot better. It's pretty damn close, actually. Good. Problem solved.
We like that, problem solving.
Well, I suppose while I'm making a mess around this end, I might as well tidy this up and then clear it all up at the same time.
I'll tell you, that thing makes light work of Bondo.
There you go, tidier than factory finish. Well, not this bit, obviously you've got to do a bit more work on that. But yeah. Oh, that's neatly done. Still a bit snotty there, isn't it?
Doesn't really matter because nobody's going to see it. It's under the seat. I just want to make it as tidy as possible. Practically possible, that is. I didn't mess around with this stuff this time. I went straight for the acetone. A lot of grease down there from the chain, etc. So I think we're ready to kind of finish the job.
There we go. Couple of coats. Just literally one after the other because it's bloody hot today. 103 out there. 80 something in here.
Just put the AC on. And that's that back to how it should be. Stupid idea. Wait, what? He's just spent all that time stripping the green paint off. Now he's got the green paint out again. What's he doing?
Ah, yes. Ingenious use of our Naked Wines spray booth. Yes, we're going to paint those green, aren't we? Oh, yeah. These are going to look good.
Except it's doing that bubbling thing again. This is really not good paint. Now, I have to say, my experience of VHT paint is actually very good. So I'm wondering if this is just like a shelf life thing, you know, perhaps not that many people order pea green paint. I don't know. Now the only question is whether I can be bothered to replace the brake shoes, and I really can't. I mean, look at those springs. They're brand new. These are new brakes. Stupid. Should have checked it first, I guess, and I should have second guessed that this particular bike, they'd be fine. It's just that indicator, it was at one extreme. Obviously it was the usable extreme. There's no indication of which way is which. Well, that one came out great. That one not so much. Sand it down, start again. Yes, we have our bearings, our rear wheel bearings for the Kawasaki. So that will be going to Chris tomorrow, along with the new tyre. Yeah. So that'll be that back end, back wheel all sorted out. Then we can get it back on the bike and we can put our shocks on, we can put a new chain. I've got a new chain coming, despite the fact that this is in pretty good nick. I found a rather nice one, so we'll be putting on a new chain. Frame is looking good, all blacked up, ready to go. Probably take the bags off, all now. Cleaned up, they're all painted up. Exploring the headlight a little further. Those of you who watched the Yamaha R6 episodes will remember I got this made up for a speedo mount, and it's not as far down as it goes because I put this on first, which I shouldn't have done. Anyway, yeah, it would be lower down, wouldn't it? Let's try that. There, that's more like it. And obviously all this would go because this was the bit to bring the speedo to the right height, hence the kind of angle at the top and whatever. Anyway, so this
unfortunately at the moment it's held on by a hose clip, as you can see, because that's generally how these things are. It's a bit fiddly, so I think we'd just drill a hole, honestly, and mount it properly. But it does give an idea of what it'll look like, right? I think that's quite cool. Should we try it with the light? There you go. It's working, even if you can't tell it's working. It's not very bright, is it? No. Well, maybe that particular LED strip is not going to do the job. Yeah, that's not a daytime running light, is it? No. Need something bigger and brighter, like me. There, you can tell it's on from this angle, but that's not really any good, is it? Yeah. And of course the other end may come in handy for mounting a speedo, just as it was intended in the first place. I have ordered a GPS speedo unit for the bike, so we'll see when it turns up whether it's going to work there or anywhere else. But we've got to mount it somewhere, right? And talking of ordering things, I suppose we better check the budget and see where we're at. I think last time I looked it was nearly £2,000 all in, with the contra eBay stuff. Yeah, still messing around just looking at what stuff's going to look like, and I think these are going to look pretty damn cool. And with the imminent arrival of our Y connector, I guess I better start looking at the exhausts themselves, cleaning them up, and deciding whether I'm going to paint them or try and clean them up more. Still no word on the ducks from the paint company. Disappointing. And back to the foot pegs. And I've been thinking, what I wanted to do was kind of shave all that off, like literally just cut it so we got that angled doofer, and then chop that. Trouble is, that's quite narrow there. 14mm to be precise, give or take. And that's what that looks like in terms of the bolt that's going to have to go through it. So there's not a lot of meat left on this by the time you drill 9.5mm out of it. Essentially 5mm, which is 2.5mm either side. Not a lot. So I'm going to have to think about this a little longer, I think. There, is that any better? Probably not. I knew I had some other white LED kicking around somewhere. I used them as an experiment, and it's a long strip. I used them as a very random experiment in the Honda. Actually, if that was kind of taped all the way down and all the way up, I still don't think it's good enough. But that's kind of it. Yes, anyone that watched the Honda series, I used them in a very random experiment involving this ridiculous pepper pot grinder thing, and it didn't work. So obviously won't be trying that again, but whether it even works on this or not is dubious at best, honestly. I mean, for a riding light, that's a complete waste of time. So the question is, if we're going to use the heat shield as the riding light, what light do we put behind it to actually make it worthwhile from an actual kind of safety point of view? Well, it's all getting a bit crowded up here with all these bits and pieces that need to be put back on, and it got worse today because we've got a lot of deliveries. What's in that lot then? Well, first up we managed to find just one of those locking washer type things for the rear sprocket, so lucky I saved the other existing ones. And more exciting is the Y join for the exhaust, so we'll see if they fit in a minute. The sprockets, there it is, the new sprocket. Quite hefty actually. Anyway, that's good. So we got that, cool. Put that over there. And last but not least, our new sexy green chain, so that's cool. I'm not going to put this on yet, obviously, because there's a sequence of events. First of which is undoing the old chain, and that's one of these clips again, like we did on the Honda, so that'll be nice and easy. Forget where it is. Anyway,
but I'm not going to take it completely off because I'm going to clip the new one to it so I can roll it round into the front socket, having put the back wheel on, and then fit the new chain. The sequence of events is wheel bearings, new wheel bearings in, new tyre on, uncouple the old chain, fit the rear wheel, fit new sprocket, fit the rear wheel, then fit the new chain, in that specific order. So I better get prepping these, hadn't I? I think I need to clean up the old ones, paint them all green, and see which is the best to use. So first off, I'm just flattening them out as best as I can. This one kind of distorted as it came off, but you know, hammering down all the edges and getting them as flat as possible, like so. And now we'll clean them up and paint them green. Still exploring foot peg possibilities and using those rear set jobs that I bought for the Honda, and that's kind of the best solution, which is not great, right? Obviously, where we've got a spacer to pull that whole thing out, but then this itself is only as tight as the nut and bolt go, which is not good because the foot pegs are going to come out of here, like so, to give us that 3 inches or so, 2 inches, to get it nearer the lever itself. Here. Plus we've got to drill that hole out to accommodate that thread, which is a 8mm, and that won't leave us much meat either side on that hole. So that's not a great idea. But then I saw something else. Yes, these boys, which surprisingly are readily available. There's lots of them kicking around. Anyway, these are the chain adjusters, i.e. the rear wheel adjusters that go there that we've looked at already. And they'll be bloody perfect because with a little spacer let me explain. I've got a spacer in there at the moment just to match up with that size of the orifice in the fitting itself. But with a little spacer down there, that would kind of work. And we've still got the same problem of the tension all being about the tension of the nut. And it wouldn't be the whole device, it would just be one side of it. So I just buy one and chop it up. But that's pretty much perfect length for the pedal. Let's go get that, which would then sit there. Yeah, so I mean that would work really nicely, other than the fact that it all hinges on this bolt. And that doesn't work nicely for me. Looks cool though, doesn't it? There we go. They're all sorted, ready to go. And while we had the green paint out, I thought I'd just do that. Well, now it's all unwrapped again, I think it's time to wrap it up. Yes indeedy, because it's 5 o'clock. So as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you thought the video was any good, give it a thumbs up. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.